Before you lace up your boots for the Tour du Mont Blanc, listen up. This trek is one of the most beautiful experiences in the world, but it's also one of the toughest if you don't know what you're walking into. I've hiked the Tour du Mont Blanc twice, and I made mistakes that cost me money, comfort, and way too much skin on my heels. I watched other hikers burn out, drop hundreds of euros on things they could have avoided, and even cut their trip short because they just weren't prepared. And if you don't want to repeat those same mistakes, you need to hear this. I'll break down everything from gear slip-ups to timing mistakes, and trust me, the last one you won't want to miss. It made our trek so much more enjoyable. Hi there, I'm Melanie. The Tour du Mont Blanc is a 105-mile hut-to-hut trek through France, Italy, and Switzerland. A lot of the TMB is exposed, meaning that you will be directly in the sun. This leads me to mistake number 1, not bringing enough sunscreen. Now, typically if you leave home and you don't bring enough sunscreen, it's not a big deal, right? You just pick some up along the way in whatever country or city that you're in at that time. The reason why this is a mistake on the TMB is that sunscreen is so expensive. Like the most expensive sunscreen that I have seen anywhere in the world. One of the people in my group ran out of sunscreen about halfway through, had to pick up another bottle in Italy, and you guys, it was $32. For the smallest tube of sunscreen that would probably cost $7 here in the US, it was $32. So do yourself a favor, bring plenty from home, reapply throughout the day, and don't forget about your lips. Enzo's lips got sunburned and he was very uncomfortable for a couple of days. And for me, it was my calves because I did not put sunscreen on my calves one day and they were just in full sun all day. By the end of the day, you could have fried a piece of bacon on the back of my legs and I was really uncomfortable. But as painful as a sunburn is, it's nothing compared to the next mistake, which can literally turn every step of your trek into torture. Mistake number 2, not properly taking care of blisters and hot spots. Blisters are the sneaky little villains of the Tour du Mont Blanc. If you feel a blister coming along and you ignore it, you're gonna end up hobbling into the next refugio like some kind of bridge troll. Do I really have to say that?
It's funny.
Sorry guys. Enzo's a comedian. The trick to blisters is really not treatment, it's prevention. I carry many things for blisters, including Vaseline, bandage tape, and Compeed. The second, and I literally mean the second, you feel any kind of uncomfortable rubbing on your feet, you need to stop. Take your shoes off, put a piece of tape or some Vaseline onto the spot that's bothering you so that it stops the friction. And it also may be a good idea to go ahead and change into a different pair of socks so that the socks that you were wearing can dry out. The first time Enzo did the Tour du Mont Blanc, it was his very first trek he had ever done. He started feeling rubbing on his foot. He ignored it, and a few days later, I am not kidding, his blister had a blister on it. Don't be like Enzo. Prevent blisters from happening in the first place. Mistake number 3, underestimating the hills. If you think blisters are bad, wait until these hills hit you. The Tour du Mont Blanc is no joke with the elevation changes. On several days, you will face over 3,000 feet of elevation gain. That means you'll be climbing for 2 to 3 hours at a time. Yes, non-stop. Like no flat parts. My tip is to train for this at home before you get out there. Find the steepest hill you can find and just climb it. And then climb it again and again and again. If you don't have any hills where you are, go to your nearest gym and hit that Stairmaster for an hour. And just keep increasing your time on the Stairmaster because the more that you train, the more that your body will thank you and you will enjoy the TMB instead of being in some serious pain. And a sneaky little pro tip, don't forget your AirPods. This is something that saved me on the TMB and I've used it on other treks as well because when you are going uphill for several hours, sometimes it helps to distract your mind a little bit. So I created a playlist on Spotify that's called Songs for Going Uphill. These are really high energy songs, which basically turns these hills into like a fun workout class. And instead of huffing and puffing, I'm also breathing heavy, but I feel like I am dancing up the mountain. But dancing uphill only gets you so far. You also need the right gear to help you get up the mountain. This brings me to mistake number 4. not bringing trekking poles. On those climbs and descents, your quads and your knees are just begging for help. And this is where trekking poles really come into play. Some hikers skip them thinking that they're just unnecessary, but in my opinion, on the TMB, they are worth every ounce. Trekking poles give you extra power on the way up, more stability on the way down, and just save you tons of energy on this trek. If you're not used to hiking with trekking poles, I absolutely recommend figuring this out at home and practicing with them on local trails so that you don't get out there and feel silly, because there is a specific rhythm to them that feels really good, but it takes a while to learn it. Once you get used to hiking with poles, you may never hike without them again. I find specifically that when I am hiking with a heavy backpack, I prefer to have poles. So here's the thing, not all of these mistakes happen on the trail. This next one actually happens as soon as you land in Europe. Mistake number 5, giving in to the jet lag and taking a nap on your first day. When you're flying from the US to Europe, if you're anything like me, as soon as you land, the jet lag just hits you hard. You will very likely feel tempted to check into your hotel or wherever you're staying and just take a quick little nap, just a little innocent little nap. You guys, this is a huge mistake. On our most recent Tour du Mont Blanc, we landed in Geneva at 9 a.m. and my body was just begging to lay down and get some sleep. But here's what happens if you take a nap. You will wake up groggy and disoriented, and you will not sleep as well that night, which is very, very important for getting over jet lag. You need to match the local time and do your best to get a full night's sleep as soon as you get there. What really saved us on this last trip was just powering through that first day. We forced ourselves to stay awake until the evening. Yes, it was painful, but it helped us to get over jet lag so much quicker. Here's another mistake that travelers make right after they land: spending time in a city that just isn't worth it. Mistake number 6. Wasting time in Geneva. Here's a hot take and something that I don't think I have ever said before on this channel. I didn't really like Geneva. Now, of course, I'm just one person on the internet, so form your own opinion. But I found Geneva to be severely lacking charm. Most hikers will fly into Geneva as it is the closest international airport to Chamonix, so you'll be tempted to stay a night or two and check it out. But honestly, Geneva just feels like any other big business city. And why would you want to stay in a big business city when the Alps are so close? If you want to make the most of your trip, I recommend hopping on a bus straight to Chamonix or Annecy. These are charming French towns with great mountain views and delicious food. So save your limited days for the good stuff. And while saving your time is important, saving weight in your backpack is even more critical, which brings us to the next mistake. Mistake number 7, overpacking and not taking advantage of laundry. Overpacking is the easiest mistake to make on the TMB. Every extra shirt feels harmless at home, but on the trail, it's just more weight strapped to your back while you are going uphill for hours. You don't need to bring anything just in case, because in Courmayeur, you can have your laundry done. Our hotel washed, dried, folded, and delivered our laundry back to our hotel rooms. So halfway through the trek, we had fresh clothes and no regrets. If you want to know everything I brought to the TMB, make sure you watch my TMB packing video. And speaking of regrets, nothing will drag your energy down more than this next mistake. The one that can keep you from getting the sleep your body needs for this entire trek. Mistake number 8. Forgetting sleep essentials. Dorm life on the TMB is a wonderful part of the experience, but here's the catch. For some reason, hikers snore like it's an Olympic sport. Add in lights flickering on, doors slamming in the middle of the night, and people rummaging through their backpacks at 5 a.m., and sleep just becomes a battle. So make sure that you show up with the right sleep gear. Bring an eye mask that you actually like. Don't just grab that weird little eye mask that they give you on the plane. It's not comfortable and it's not gonna block out the light. Get a good eye mask and get some good earplugs that will block out all the noise. The ones that I use are silicone. With those items, you will sleep like a baby while everybody else is just laying there counting sheep and cursing their bunkmates. Lack of sleep lowers your immune system, which leads to my next mistake, and this one can actually cut your trip early. Mistake number 9, not prepping for illness. Nothing derails a trek faster than getting sick. And on the Tour du Mont Blanc, there is a lot of opportunity for germs to spread. Planes, dorm rooms, shared bathrooms, losing sleep from jet lag. On our most recent trip, we had 15 people in our group and 9 of them got sick. 9. So here's how I prep. Before I even fly, I start loading up on vitamin C and colostrum. Look it up. I'm not a doctor. Someone recommended this concoction to me and it works for me. On trail, I carry several items just in case I get sick or someone in my group gets sick. These include hand sanitizer, Dr. Bronner's, which I use as hand soap, Dayquil, NyQuil, allergy medication, cough drops, Mucinex. I'm basically a little walking pharmacy. And let me tell you, on every single trip, people come to me with sickness and they ask me for medication, and luckily I have it. It might feel like overkill, but prevention is everything. Because once you're sick out there, every mile feels 10 times harder. Enzo got sick on our last trip, and as we were hiking this huge hill that took us from Italy to Switzerland, I remember being close to the top and looking down and just seeing him dragging himself up the hill because he was so exhausted. And just a cute little fun story to share. Towards the end of this day, it was a very, very long, hot day. Enzo was starting to feel crabby. And what are the things that can help you when you feel crabby? Well, how about ice cream and puppies? Because we found both of those. They say that the trail provides, and this truly happened to us that day. We found a little place close to our lodge in Switzerland that had ice cream and puppies. And I have this video of Enzo holding a puppy in one arm and an ice cream cone in his hand. And it's just the most magical, cute thing ever. And he wasn't crabby anymore. So let's say that you do get sick and you have to see a doctor. That is where this next mistake comes into play. Mistake number 10, not getting travel insurance. When you're traveling, stuff happens. Your flight might get delayed. Your baggage could get lost, or you could end up with a nasty cold on the TMB. This is where travel insurance comes into play, and it can bring you so much peace of mind. I've been using World Nomads for over a decade, and I have always been really happy with their service. Okay, enough about the scary stuff. Let's talk about the one luxury that every TMB hiker deserves. Trust me, skipping this is a mistake. Mistake number 11. Skipping the spa in Courmayeur. Here's another hot take. If you don't take a rest day and head to the QC Term Spa in Courmayeur, you're doing it wrong. Picture this: steaming outdoor pools with mountain views, saunas, a buffet lunch in your bathrobe, and even massages if you want to splurge. After days of pounding your legs up and down the Alps, this place makes you feel human again. So book this in advance and just give yourself a lazy, relaxing day. You will wake up the next morning feeling like a brand new hiker. And while the spa is absolutely amazing, nature has its own recovery tool, and skipping it is the final mistake. Mistake number 12, missing out on river dips. After long days on the TMB, there is one simple joy that too many hikers skip: dipping into rivers. Cold mountain water on your sore muscles feels incredible. It's like nature's ice bath, but way more fun. On some nights, we went fully into the river, I mean underwater, screaming and laughing the whole time, and it was so worth it. Here's a tip for the river dips. Make sure that you bring a pair of strappy hiking sandals that you can wear into the rivers. They also double as shower shoes. So just trust me on this, you won't regret it. I have created a digital guide for the Tour du Mont Blanc, and if you are planning on taking on this incredible adventure, I highly, highly recommend checking it out, because I can promise you it will save you dozens of hours of your planning process. This digital guide includes a full packing list, a training plan, the exact itinerary I used to do the TMB in both 12 days and 8 days, a list of the refugios I have stayed at with the ways to contact them, and a huge list of frequently asked questions and tips. You can find the link to this incredible resource in the description of this video. Thanks for watching. watching and happy trails.